ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So we are seeing the process of meditation last time. So any questions, clarification, or shall we go ahead? Okay, this is simple. The process, everything was pretty simple. So let's go ahead with that. And he had said, yato yato nischarati tataha niyamyata. That's the mind going away from your focus is natural. Because you really know only, it's natural for the mind to move. It has to move. If it has to sort of make you see things, know things, respond to situations, the mind has to move. So you can't say the mind is disturbed. It has to, that's part of its job to do be that. Okay. It also can remain in one place which we are not very familiar with. So we have to sort of train it a little bit in that. That's why the very act of bringing the mind back is also part of meditation. For this you can use some aids, etc., like auto-suggestion, etc. No? Again and again my mind will come back to wherever I am focusing on. Something like that before you start meditation. Any technique that will help you get your mind back, use it. Okay, use it. There is nothing like this should be done, that should not be done. Yeah. Okay. Then going ahead, he says.
So, Swamiji?
Yeah. You have a question?
Sure. Sorry. Yes, Swamiji. I did have one question. You had mentioned in the last class that one's japa should not become mechanical.
Yes. Yes.
Now, my question was that in order for it not to become mechanical, is it okay to focus on the japa itself, or is the number of japa I do more important?
No. See, there are two types of doing japa, broad categories. Okay? One is you are dealing with a particular goal in mind, that I will do so many lakhs of japas, Purascharanam ityadi. Their number becomes important. Or even if I say I will do 108 Gayatris every day, their number becomes important, so you can use a mala or whatever aid you can to count. Okay. There are these japa counters also available now. Previously it was available only in Rishikesh, now it's available on Amazon and everything. Okay. Those counters, you keep counting it. Okay. So there are various aids to keep a number going. Now why are these aids used? So that it doesn't require too much of attention in terms of counting. Some people use the fingers also. There's a certain process of that, and all this is to keep track. A japamala is one of the most commonly used traditionally things, for the simple reason that for every japa you move one bead. You move one bead for every japa. So what happens is that friction and when that friction stops because your mind has gone elsewhere, that lack of sensation will pull you back. So this is another thing they used. But that also can be made mechanical. The human mind is capable of making anything mechanical. That's why Tulsidas said, Mala tu karame firai. Mala is going on here. Jeeb firai mukh mahi. The tongue is moving inside, chanting. Manava to chaho dasai firai. Mind is roaming all around, all the four directions. Yato sumaran nahi. This is not remembering the Lord. Why? Because it has become mechanical. So this counting you do when you have made a sankalpa of a fixed number. For when you are making japa into a dhyanam, number is not important. Therefore, counting, etc. doesn't come into the picture. You are focusing on the chant when the chant is there, on the silence when the chant is not there. In time, the focus will be more and more on the silence until you remain as a flame of silence. That's how it goes. Okay, that's how it goes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone? Or yeah,
Swamiji,
Rebecca.
there is also like a likhit meditation that one can do. Like along with chanting, you may just write some chanting. Like you can keep repeating it or
Yeah,
writing it.
there is something known as Likhita Japa.
What is the right way of doing that? I mean, because
Simple.
I've never come across any do's and don'ts when it
Yeah.
comes to likhit japa per se.
See, Likhita Japa is when instead of just chanting it, you are writing it.
Yeah.
Because if you're too disturbed in your chanting, start writing because you're doing something. So it's easier to get that focus. Again, no do's and don'ts except like normal japa. You have a wash, this, that, feel fresh, come. Instead of sitting down, closing your eyes and doing the japa, you are opening your eyes, picking up a book and writing the mantra down. Generally, it will be a small mantra. You keep writing.
And what?
Yeah.
Sorry, Swami. What do you do with the notebook once you have completed it? I mean, you books it to discard or you I mean,
I
what
know.
are the...
You can't be putting it here and there. So normally
Yeah.
they'll say put it in a temple construction, etc. Or put it in the sea, put it in the water, some water source. Get rid of it nicely. Like how you get rid of puja flowers, etc. You won't throw it in garbage because it's not
Yeah,
garbage.
yeah.
It is it's called nirmalya. It's not
Yeah.
garbage. So similarly, you get rid of the books like that. You can make a bonfire of it also. Yeah. Because it's true, because it'll keep piling up, then what do you do?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So I was wondering what to do. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Likhita Chapa also helps you get a greater focus because you're actually writing it down. So your mind
I
is saying
figured
it.
I'm focusing more when I'm
Yeah,
writing than I'm
exactly.
doing
You'll
it.
always focus more
Yeah.
when you're writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are various ways. All these are meant to help you focus. Our focus could always do with some more focus. It's a martial art statement, your focus can always have some more focus.
More focus.
Yeah. One important thing is not to make the japa mechanical. Okay. Yeah. Don't make it mechanical, make it a deliberate activity. Some people do japa while they're walking, etc. Which is fine if you're in a countryside and you don't have to bother about traffic, this, that, etc. Then you can be very focused on the japa. But in a Bombay road or any of our cities, don't try that. You're dividing your attention between the japa and the traffic and everything. Then what do you do when you come across someone whom you know? Which happens in Bombay walking all the time. I used to do a lot of this when I was traveling because it was from point to point, half an hour. Then you get half an hour clear focus. Don't interact with anybody, just sit down and this. Yeah. So do what works for you. Do what works for you. Because I used to leave home I used to catch the 6:30 train in the morning. That time who's there in the train also, Yeah. So what works for you works for you. Yeah. The idea is to gain more focus. And the idea is for that is again in your day-to-day living, be deliberate in your actions. Be awareful. Nowadays mindfulness is becoming a big thing, Yeah, that's natural for us to be mindful of what you're doing. That's why they'll say if you're dieting, for example, if you're on a little bit of a diet, calorie restriction or anything, don't sit in front of the TV and eat. Because you're watching and mindlessly eating, and after some time you find your belt is tight and the plate is empty. You don't know how much you've eaten, So all these type of things are only to live a awareful life, a deliberate awareful life. Yeah. Because you can't live a mechanical life and be alert in meditation. That won't happen. Mind is the mind. Can't make it mechanical. You have to make it deliberate, this thing. So even a mechanical activity, you can make it awareful. As I said some time back, I think last class or the class before that, chopping vegetables is very mechanical for most of us who know how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, it is not mechanical. Okay, be careful. You don't cut your fingers along with the vegetable. But that's why they used to have different ways of cutting for different preparations. Why is that necessary? Really? For example, to make Chinese fried rice, the beans had to be cut long. You mean to say it won't look good if you cut it chop, like how you make it for your steamed vegetable? It'll taste equally good. No, but it has to be cut like that. Just to make your mind more awareful of what you're doing. Because it's a mechanical activity, not chopping vegetables, it's a mechanical thing. No, converting that into something awareful, deliberate, etc. So that is all part of that. So you don't become mechanical in life. That's important. No, you lead a very awareful life, deliberate life. So do whatever necessary to make your mind less mechanical and more awareful. Yeah. Practice certain exercises. Yoga was meant to be practiced like that. Make it to develop awarefulness. But there is nothing like an easy pose in yoga, no? It's always some complicated way. Touch your toes, okay, touch. No, not like that. It has to be like that. Elongate your spine, then touch. And then hold that position. Okay, I'm holding it. To hold that position for long, you have to be thinking of something else. No. Hold. Be awareful. What awareful? My stomach is very compressed. I can't breathe properly. Aware of the sensation. So it was an exercise system geared for your internal organs predominantly to make yourself flexible and be awareful. That was the main thing. So like this there were various things. Okay. Do what works. Yeah. Okay. Then he says, okay, ito nisharati. Alright, we saw that. The 27th verse. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Prashanta manasam yenam, this meditator. Prashanta manasam, whose mind has become now tranquil, quietened, because he is practicing meditation now. Prashantaha enam yoginam. This is yogi now. Meditator is called a yogi. Okay, yoginam. Sukham uttamam upaiti. He gains that paramanandam. Okay. Gains etc. Aupacharikam. Don't take it literally. Okay. Sukham uttamam upaiti. Why? Shantarajasam. All his disturbance etc. are taken care of. There is no more disturbance etc. in his mind. Therefore, Shantarajasam, and therefore what? Shantarajasam, Brahmabhutam akalmasham, akalmasham san, free from any defect, meaning Ragadvishas have been taken care of by a life of Karma Yoga. The disturbance in the mind going here and there has been taken care of by the practice of Japa Dhyanam etc. Ignorance, the greatest kalmasham, disturbances, everything taken care of by the knowledge. Therefore what? Brahma Bhutam. You are nothing but Brahman. You always were Brahman, but you didn't know it before. Now you know it. Brahma Bhutam. Akalmash or Akalmasham can go with Brahman. Akalmasham Brahma Bhutam. Be one with Brahman, which is free from all limitations. So, in meditation, you own up what you already know. In meditation, you are not getting Brahmajnanam. The Brahmajnanam you have gained, you are making it an integral part of your life through meditation. That's it. Eva Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham. And again, a couple of verses on that only. Yunjanneva sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahmasvarsam atyantam sukham mashnute. Yunjanneva sadatmanam. Yunjanneva, taking to this sada atmanam sada yunjan, taking your mind always to the self, to this knowledge. Yogi vigata kalmashaha. The yogi is free from all defects. Dharma, etc., conflicts, etc. Kalmasha here is conflicts. Conflicts are born either from worry, anxiety, which your karma yoga buddhi takes care of, or conflicts born of adharma, etc. You are leading a dharmic life, predominantly dharmic life. No problems. Okay. Dharma not as absolute, as relative. Okay. Relative in application. Universal in content, relative in application. Akalmasham san, you have become Akalmashaha. Sukhena Brahma sparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Sukhena, effortlessly. Brahma sparsham atyantam. Atyantam sukham, the great sukha that you gain by Brahma sparsham, being one with Brahman, recognizing your identity with Brahman, ashnute. You always was that, now you owned it up. All this meditation becomes necessary because there is a gap in our lives between knowing and doing, knowing and feeling and acting upon it. Since this thing is always there in our lives, some meditation, etc., to make it a fact of our life. Otherwise, there is no other meditation necessary. All meditation is only to make it a fact of your life. I'll never get tired of hammering this home that no new knowledge is gained in meditation. All knowledge has been gained in Shravanam. And with Shravanam, you integrate the knowledge in meditation. Okay, so Shravanam becomes the most important thing. If you have not done Shravanam, how are you going to meditate? You can't do that. Okay. Then there are some disturbances in meditation which Arjuna asked. So that time I will cover it elaborately. Then what is it that you've been really meditating and trying to achieve? What are your benchmarks for the whole thing? Here. Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani cha atmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. Sarvat bhutastam atmanam. The whole universe is centered on me. Atmastam. Okay. What am I? Limitless consciousness. What about everything that I see? It's an all limitless consciousness. But I am seeing different people. So I am in all of them. Sarva bhutani cha atmani. Okay? Bhutani cha. Sarva bhutastam atmanam. I am there in every conscious being. In every being I am there. And all beings are in me alone. So I am like what? Like Akasha, space. Space is there in everything. And everything is in space. So I am the consciousness which is there in everything. and everything is in me. This is the final knowledge. Okay. Now again, when I am saying this, don't mistake this as an experience. I have to feel that. If you are going to, you have to recognize yourself and everyone. That means everyone that is there is non-different from you, the consciousness. That doesn't mean you're going to feel their pain, you're going to feel their stupidity, you're going to feel their anger. That all has been dismissed as mithya long back, isn't it? So this is not experiential, this is purely recognition based. Keep this in mind, otherwise people think, oh, I have to feel I am in everything. You will not. Because when you say, I have to feel I am in everything, what are you talking about? As Atma or mind? When you are saying, I don't feel, you are saying mind. It is equated to mind. I have to feel everything. Huh? Feel everything is mind. We are not talking about the mind. We are talking about you consciousness. You the consciousness is in everything. I didn't say you the mind is in everything. If you the mind was in everything, then you would feel it. But it's not the you the mind that is in everything. It's you the consciousness that is there in everything. Yeah. I must have the empathy. I must feel the whole universe is fun. You will be in a big mess. Volcanoes are erupting all over the world. You want to feel all the heat of it? You want to get yourself burnt over it. So many patients are suffering and in pain. You want to feel all that also? So many people are high and so many different stuff. You want to feel all that? You'll go crazy. You'll go crazy. When the moment you say feeling, you bring your mind into the picture. Emotions into the picture. In that you are functioning as a human being. So it will be limited to what you are. And recognition. Yeah. That I am in everyone and everyone is in me. That's pure consciousness. To be able to see that very clearly. Ikshate yoga yuktatmaha. This sees, he sees, who sees? Yoga yuktatma. The person yogena yuktaha. Meaning this yoga. Which yoga? Dukkha samyoga viyoga yoga. This yoga, it's about dissociating from the natural grief that is there in every human heart. The sense of limitation that is there in every human heart. That you have been freed from by recognizing I am not this body, mind, etc. Body, I am independent of the body and mind. Body and mind is dependent on me. I am nothing but that pure consciousness. And that is the same everywhere. Therefore, Samadarshinaha. He is a Samadarshi. Samadarshi is not treating the friend and the foe as the same. You are an idiot to do that. I am a spiritual being. I have to treat everyone as the same. So if someone is coming to whack you, you will treat him as the same as someone who is coming to hug you. You are an idiot then, not a spiritual person. That which is the same everywhere, tasya darshinaha, the one who sees that same in everything. Yeah, that Atma, the consciousness, is the same everywhere. One who sees that. Such a person is called a Samadarshi. Yeah. He sees everything is the same, as the same consciousness. But manifestations are different. Otherwise, you will be like that absent-minded professor who pats his wife and kisses the dog goodbye when he is going to work. And some people deliberately do that. In today's world, dog has become more important. Otherwise, he'll be like the scientist. He's getting engaged to this girl. He was a nice person, nice couple. They were in love for some time. And he's proposing to her today. So he took her to a nice area, beautiful place, and all, and he's proposing. And he takes out a copper ring and proposes with a copper ring. What is that? You know, my dear, I'm a scientist. For me, copper, gold, silver, all are nothing but quantum of energy. Says, thank God I discovered that now. You can't do that. What you're saying is true, it's all quantum of energy. But each quantum of energy is meant for different things or not? Though I've seen one scientist do this. He managed to get a gasket from this spaceship that had gone into the International Space Station and come back. And out of that gasket, he made a ring. And he used that ring to propose to his girlfriend. This is unique material. It has gone to the space station, International Space Station, and came back. Okay. Understandable. There is something uniqueness about it. It's different. Yeah. Of course, you would have allowed it better if you had put a diamond on top of that. Each thing has its own use. You see the same in everything. You see the same in everything. That which is the same everywhere. Samadarshina. Manifestations are dealt with according to form and function. Remember, every manifestation is a form meant for a function. Don't forget this. Don't forget the practicality of the world in your study of Vedanta. Be pragmatic enough, practical enough with normal things. And bring the vision of Vedanta into all that. That will color your whole life. Then you are Ananda. Irrespective of dealing with different manifestation. Yeah. That's where the whole thing is.
So Swamiji,
Yeah.
If I may phrase it in a different way from my understanding, so when it comes to dealing with Vyavahara, we do it within the framework of Dharma.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? I mean,
That's
pretty
it.
much that's it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because one universal frame of reference for functioning is Dharma. And within Dharma also there are variations. Okay. More or less according to the role you are playing. Yeah. So that Dharma is always there. Yeah. Universal in content, relative in application. Keep that in mind, you're fine. So Dharma becomes a good base for function. Universal ethical order becomes a good base for function. And within that function can work well. Life can be smooth. Now the same idea that he had said previous verse, he is putting it in the language of bhakti. Okay. What is that? Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvatra cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranishyami, sacha me na pranishyati. Yo mam Ishwaram, mam Krishna, Parameshwara, okay, Yogeshwara, Ishwara, the Lord, sarvatra pashyati, sees me everywhere. Sarvam cha mai pashyati, who sees everything in him. Tasyaham na pranishyami. I am never lost to him. Neither is he lost to me. See, look at that verse and look at the previous verse. Sarva bhutastam atmanam, sarva bhutanam cha atmani. This is from the standpoint of I consciousness. And this verse is from standpoint of the reality which is Ishvara. One is the language of knowledge, the other is the language of bhakti. Otherwise, what is the difference between the two verses? No difference at all. Bhakti standpoint. How can I be? Lord is everything. Okay. As long as you understand the Lord as consciousness. That's also important. Krishna, the historical figure, was not everywhere and everything. No? You will find some nice jokes like this in our Ram Kathas that go on. You know? North India, Ram Kathas are very popular. So this devotee is coming, running to Vrindavan. मेरे कृष्ण कहाँ हैं? हम सुना है कृष्ण यहाँ ही है. नहीं बाबा, यहाँ नहीं है. इधर से वो वृंदावन छोड़ के मथुरा वृंदावन छोड़ के द्वारका चले गया. So he was running to द्वारका. मेरे कृष्ण कहाँ है? हाँ, एक जमाने में था इधर. फिर वो वैकुंठ चले गया. अभी मूर्ति है द्वारकाधीश का. We are not talking about the historical figure when he says Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra. We are talking about Krishna as the pure consciousness. Now don't say Krishna consciousness, okay? Krishna as pure consciousness. Yeah. We are talking about Krishna as consciousness. In fact, if this class reaches that stage of studying Brahma Sutras and coming to Panchapadika, Padmapada's commentary and this thing, there Ishvara is presented as nothing but consciousness only. Nothing else. When you see Ishvara, you mean consciousness. That's it. Yeah. So that's what he is saying here. Both the words are the same. One reference point I, other reference point Ishvara. But I and Ishvara resolve into that consciousness alone. That consciousness is everything. Everything is in consciousness. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then he gives you a very nice verse after that. Okay. Sarva bhuta stitam yomam bhajati ekatvamasthitaha sarvata vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Sarva bhuta stitam yomam bhajati. Yo mam bhajati. Those who worship me. Which me? Sarva bhuta stitam. Who is there manifest in every being. Who is nothing but the consciousness in everyone. Okay. Yomam bhajati. Ekatvam astitaha. With the understanding that non-different from me. So the knowledge itself is a worship. What we are doing here is Vangmayi Puja, okay? When you do a puja in your puja corner or your puja room, you are doing a puja to the form of the Lord. Here what are you doing? We are doing the puja to the Swarupa of the Lord. So understanding the Swarupa itself is a Vangmayi Puja. Vangmayi meaning verbal. Okay? Puja in the form of words. Vangmayi Puja. Therefore, Sarva Bhuta Stitam Yo Bhajati Ekatva Mastitaha Sarvatha Vartamanopi. Okay.
Swamiji?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand the difference.
Where?
You said form, puja for the form,
Yeah.
and puja for the Swarupa. I'm a bit confused on that.
See, when you're doing a puja, what are you invoking? Ishvara. As whatever murti, that's your Ishta Devata, isn't it? Rama, Krishna, Shiva, whatever. Okay, this, and I am offering flowers, this, that. To what? To the form, no?
Form.
With the understanding that Ishvara is nothing but consciousness, that's fine. But the
Yes.
emphasis is on the form.
Yes.
So that the puja is to the form. And here what are we doing? Going beyond the form, beyond the name, to pure consciousness.
Acha, that is what you mean by
Yeah.
Swarupa.
Yeah, the Swarupa. Rupa is the form, Swarupa is the nature.
Okay, okay, got
Swarupa
it.
is the nature.
Got
Okay,
it.
yeah. So you're doing that.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yeah. And then he says, such a person, Sarvata Vartamanopi, in whatever lifestyle he is living. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay. Whatever is lifestyle. Okay. Why? Because you see all the wise people, I think all of them are living the same lifestyles. They are not carbon copies of each other. Some may be very liberal, like me. Some may be very orthodox. Some may be householders. Some may be married. Some may have children. Some may be monks. Some may be loners. Some may be in society. Some may be rulers. Some may be functioning as beggars. In Mahabharata, there is a wise person who was functioning as a butcher. Hey, Papam, we are supposed to have all vegetarian food only, and he was a butcher. Chop, chop, chop. Sarvata Vartamano. In whatever form of life he is living, Mayi eva vartate, he lives in me alone, he says. The idea is that once you know the truth, you really speaking go beyond dharma and adharma. Dharma and adharma is a means for your growth and a means for harmony in the society. So that part of it the wise man may follow. But what growth are you talking about for the wise person? Growth is culminated in the knowledge. Abhi kya growth hai? You can, at the most, the wise person can pick up some skills. Skills to communicate better. Software skills, which I am very poor at. I have basic only. Yeah. So, wise person may certainly decide. That's a hobby. Let me study some astrology. He won't say astrology is superstition. If he says that, he doesn't know what the Shastra is about. There are wise men who say that. They don't know what the Shastra is about. Their knowledge is very limited as far as the Shastra is concerned. Or he may pick a different skill. You know the wise old man of Kanchi Perivar? Old man, lived up to 100 years. All of India would revere him as Bhagwan himself. At one stage in life, he wanted some exposure to the society. Because he went as a 10-year-old to study all this. He was taken as a Bala Brahmachari. You know what he did? He studied photography. He's a very good photographer. He studied French. I can understand he studied Sanskrit, Baba. He studied French. He could converse with French tourists in French. Why? Man laga. Why not? What do you mean why? Is there a rule? Wise person cannot pick up a foreign language. A rule is, huh? Some wise people were great warriors. Of course, they were warriors who came to this wisdom. Because once you are a warrior, the next step is what? This knowledge only. Nothing else is left in your life. Abhi kya hai? You have seen birth and death. You know, life and death you have seen at close quarters. Abhi, what is left? What is beyond life and death? That's the natural next step. So, it doesn't matter what your lifestyle is. That's what he's saying. There were people, wise people who lived completely crazy lifestyles also. There is a Jada Bharata in the Mahabharata who lived under a cart in the marketplace. God knows why he lived like that. Or who was that Russian? Rasputin. That Russian mystic. Rasputin. I love the character. He had a lot of problematic things. Behavior wise. Could drink like a fish and it wouldn't affect him. And he would enjoy the drink. So it was a big deal. He If you are a wise person, none of these things affect you. Gurus, they generally, acharyas, gurus, etc., generally won't live a lifestyle like that, because that will be the first thing that will be copied and imitated by the students. So they don't normally will do that. Yeah. So they live a fairly disciplined life. They will live. Why? Because set an example. Don't let the students pick up all the wrong things from you. Though for you it is not wrong, for them it can become wrong because it can hinder their growth. Yeah. So that's all. This dharma is, you have gone beyond dharma and adharma in the knowledge. In fact, in Kathopanishad, Nachiketa asking Yama for that knowledge. Yama tries to dissuade him, etc. After that, he reframes his question. And he says, tell me that which is beyond dharma and adharma, which is beyond action and non-action, beyond punya and papa. Tell me that, he says. So that is this knowledge. And once you are identified with that, you are that. Then the question may come up, will the wise person do a wrong thing? Generally, no. Why you are saying generally no? Because there may always be an exception to the rule where it's appropriate to do a wrong thing. If you look at Krishna's life, everything he did was adharma. But it was all meant for greater good. It worked out fine. Whatever he did worked out for greater good. Every action of his. So that is the criteria for a wise person's function. So generally, for his own sake, he will not do something wrong. Why? Why does anyone do something wrong? I want something so much. I want something so badly, as you also, I want it bad, man. That I want to get it by hook or by crook. And why do you want something so much? Because I think gaining that will make me happy. Wise person is already Ananda. So he doesn't want it by hook. Why should he get it by crook? He doesn't need it by hook. So why should he go and do it in a crooked manner? He doesn't have to. So generally, dharma will become natural lifestyle. Dharmic lifestyle, in terms of universal good, will become natural for a wise person. So inadvertently, some laws may be broken. You carried a scissors on the flight. Yaar, bhul gaya. I don't know that such a tiny scissor was banned. It happened to me coming back from UK. It's a small pair of tiny scissors that was there in my carry-on luggage. So the luggage was screened, it came. So I said, is there something? Yeah, there is something not supposed to be here. And the officer looked at me expectantly. I said, so it's possible. It's possible I might have forgotten to take a small pair of scissors out of that bag. So I can leave it behind here if you want. So she opened the bag, saw that small. Oh, this is very small. It's okay. Put it back into the bag. So inadvertently something like that can happen. Okay. Inadvertently it can happen. Or some tax laws you break. Why? Because you didn't even know that that law existed. So you have to pay some fine, whatever. Okay, you'll do that. You don't try to cover it up. Okay. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Correct. That's why you're paying the fine. But can anyone know all the tax laws that are there in the country? Especially a country like India? That's why even an ordinary salaried person needs a tax consultant. I don't think unless there is an accountant here, they will file their own tax returns. India is not possible. It's too complex. So these type of things may happen. That's not adharma. Those are genuine, honest errors that can happen. Yeah. That a wise person may also go through. Yeah. So, but the idea is that even dharma does not limit you once you know the truth. Okay. The same mindset. He is giving you different verses. So to look at the mindset of a wise person from different angles, that you will know exactly what you are in for. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yo Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Atma aupamyena, from the standpoint of the self or in comparison to the self. Sarvatra samam pashyati yo Arjuna. Yaha, hey Arjuna, yaha, who sees the same everywhere in comparison to the self. Meaning, everything is one consciousness. Who sees that? Sukham va yadi va dukkham. Whether the experience is happy or unhappy. Because there can be happy experiences, unhappy experiences, isn't it? You are Ananda. You lost someone near and dear. Experience wise, what it is? Ananda. So someone has died. Someone close to you. A relative. And close to you. Okay? That's important. Because all relatives need not be close. So what do? Maja aaya yaar. Chale gaya. Did you see something like that? Hey. It's a dukkha experience for everybody. You also will maintain a sober. Dukkham or sukham, a happy experience. क्या happy experience है? वैराग्य नहीं है किसको? You really say that? You go to a party and talk about vairagya. Hey, you're an idiot. You're not a wise person. You're an idiot. Someone's 60th birthday celebration. You've gone for that. 60th birthday celebration, not for the puja. Puja and all was over in the morning. Evening is a party. They invited you for the puja and for the party. In the party, you say, too much of alcohol consumption. No vairagya. What is this? This is a joyful experience. People are enjoying a drink. Let them. Oh, it's all papa karma. That is not your wisdom speaking. That is your orthodoxy speaking. It's your orthodox conditioning speaking. I imagine the plight of this character who thinks like this. This nice Brahminical boy, brought up in this Brahmin household. All his life he has lived like that. He never touched alcohol. He never touched something non-vegetarian, this, that. Even the smell of it he can't stand. And then he dies and goes to heaven for being such a good person. And heaven in the Hindu scriptures described, where you are welcomed with the soma drink. Yehi iti matva. The angels welcome you. Yehi iti. Please come. You earned this place, and they give you a soma juice in your hand. Ayo, I never touched this thing. Those rules are for earth, not here. But imagine that poor character, what his mindset will be for adjustment period will recur. Yeah. It will be a solid adjustment period now. Correct or not? Cultural conditionings. Okay. You live a life of discipline, that's fine. That's good. Nobody is saying no to that. Okay. Don't let your culture condition you. Let your culture be your background. where it has helped you grow, gain a sense of refinement, gain a sense of self-worth. You own up your heritage, your culture, everything. That's beautiful. Let it not condition. Let it not condition. Okay. There was sukham va yadi va yutukham. Sa paramo yogi iti mataha. That person is a yogi. Yeah. Not a person who just touches his toes. Or ties his body up into knots. Yeah. A yogi is a person who's gained this knowledge and integrated that knowledge in your life. Yeah. So the word yogi is used because a lot of meditation is involved in this. For whom? For one with a mind not so integrated. The more integrated your mind is, the less meditation you require. You know, the greater the preparation that you have done before you came to Vedanta, the less meditation you require. Nididhyasana you require. Lesser the preparation, lesser the integration, etc., the more meditation you require. But remember, in all these things, there is one thing: meditation is not a solution for everything. Meditation is a solution for lack of integration, so that this knowledge can get integrated into you. Whatever psychological issues are there has to be dealt with psychologically. This is important. Spiritual growth is based on the bedrock of psychological growth. So if there are psychological issues, deal with that. If you are not dealt with that, if you have pushed it into the subconscious, which we do sometimes, then what will happen is when you meditate, all that will be thrown up. Because your conscious mind is quietened. When your conscious mind is quietened, what is there in the subconscious will come up. That time what do? Don't push it back. I'm a spiritual student, I should not feel like that. But you're feeling like that. I'm a full-time student in the ashram, how can I feel like that? You can feel like that because certain issues you are pushed into the subconscious. Therefore, go talk to your teacher, deal with it. And hope you get a teacher who is psychologically aware. That's also important. And willing to deal with psychological issues. Some people may be psychologically aware, but they'll say, no, I'm not willing to deal with it. Go for therapy. Especially if the student is far away or something, what do? You're studying in the same city, okay, you can meet regularly and deal with it. But if you are in some other city, you go. So, this is part of the game. The psychological growth that is necessary is part of the game. That is why Vedanta always is addressed to an adhikari. What are the qualifications of a student is very clearly mentioned. Viveka, Vairagya, Sama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam and Mumukshutva. If you look at that Samadama, etc., Uparati, all these are meant for your psychological growth. Samadhanam, all this is psychological growth. Dealing with psychological growth. So how do I know whether I have any issues? Thoda meditate karo. What does your mind throw up? Some grief, some anger, unresolved grief, unresolved anger, some guilt, some pain. These are common. Some pain, some sorrow. Like sometimes I ask my students, so what is your secret sorrow? And they say, Swamiji, nothing. Let it be. Or they will deal with it themselves. One of the two things. I respect the independence of my students. Well, they'll deal with it. If they can't deal with it, they'll come back. Okay. They know there is acceptance. Yeah. They know there is lack of judgment. I won't judge them on the basis. I won't sit in judgment over them. Because we all gone through pain. We all gone through guilt. We all have done things which we should not be doing. We have gone through all those things. Theek hai. Reva de. Like that statement. Reva de, reva de, ready. It's okay. So dealing with all that. If you are dealt with all that, the meditation you require is very little. Nididhyasana, very little is enough. Because otherwise what will happen, this will come up, then you have to deal with it. It will come up, you have to deal with it. That's okay, deal with it. Growth is the important thing. Yeah. So the psychological growth issues will come up. And let it come up and deal with it. So I have seen in some cases, someone went through some Sadguru's meditation and then some past life issues came up. Now the teacher there was teaching all that Kriya, etc. didn't know how to deal with that. Luckily this person knew me and came to me. I said, no problem, we'll deal with that. We dealt with it. It's a big deal. Yeah. But it can come up. Yeah. So, any issue that comes up in meditation, no big deal, can be dealt with. No, don't come and tell me, Swamiji, no issue is coming up. Okay, you may have led a good life, no issues. Acha hi hai na? What's wrong in that? If it comes up, we deal with it. If it doesn't come up, it probably means there's nothing there. Or you're not meditating enough. You're not quiet in your mind enough. Either way, it's okay. When you learn to quieten, it'll come up. So, all this will come. Sometimes you may feel a sense of vulnerability. That's good. You are getting in touch with your vulnerable child, the core of what you are. That's a good thing. That means your meditation is going well. It happened in the camp. This Lonavala camp we had. Some people felt vulnerable right in the class when I was taking a class, because that class was almost like a meditation. They got in touch with that vulnerability. This is good. It's a good point. That's when breakthroughs are achieved in the class. Yeah. So, whatever necessary, okay? Okay. Sayogi paramo mataha. Now, yeah, I will do that. Well, that vulnerability, remind me next class. I will take it up as a topic itself and do. Okay? And here, after this, Krishna must have stopped. Taken a break. I said, both baat kiya, bahut ho gaya. And that time Arjuna pops up with a question. Okay, Arjuna pops up with a question. But that question we will see next class. Okay. The next class won't be next Saturday. Next Saturday, I am in Rishikesh. It is my Guru's anniversary on 23rd. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we are having the Guru Bhai meet, where all of us teachers get together, thrash out certain issues, etc., etc. This time there are one or two issues to be thrashed out. And 23rd will be the actual Bandara and everything, the puja in the morning at the Adhishtanam, Bandara, everything. He'll get over by lunch and I'm taking the evening flight back to Bombay. So, next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no class, okay? All those who are attending. This Sunday, of course, tomorrow there is a class, but after that, okay? So, we'll meet here for Gita Sunday, after that, okay? So, have a good time, think over everything, practice some Nididhyasanam will be good, okay? Om Tat Sat.
Pranam